Big Gamer out here. How are you guys doing today? I'm super. Thanks for asking. So wow, with so many games coming out in October, it's been so packed, I thought it's probably best if I bring you a quick video with a complete reviews roundup for some of the games that came out in October to give you the best idea how good these games are and if they're worth your money leading into a very busy holiday period. So the first of the 6 games I want to bring you today is Evil Within 2. So the first game had a lot of issues but is still considered a cult classic, and I'm really happy to confirm that all the frame rate issues, the letterboxing, the linearity, it's all pretty much gone by the wayside now, and what we have is a much better game with open world elements. It has lost none of its tight shooting or its atmosphere, and it's really dropping in these huge set pieces, really inventive enemies, a very robust crafting system with lots of options, and this is all brought inside a very creepy ghost town setting, and it's all open world, so there's a lot more to do this time round, and it feels a little bit more organic as a storytelling experience. I think it's fantastic that we've got a game that can stand toe to toe with Resident Evil 7 for best horror game of 2017. I absolutely love this game and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So the second game I'd like to talk to you about today, guys, is Assassin's Creed Origins. I can safely say I really love the Assassin's Creed series and I really missed it last year when there wasn't an entry, and I'm glad to say they've managed to bring their biggest and most high budget entry ever. Egypt is absolutely huge, it's packed full of content. I think found the story much more gripping than in previous years, and the combat is vastly improved. They've got away with a lot of the lock-on system from before and the automated blocking, and you've got much more parries and counters and stuff like that going on, and it feels a little bit more like a Dark Souls maybe. The only aspect I can really criticise is there's less emphasis on platforming, and I can really feel the series leaning further away from its Prince of Persia roots. And along with a few bugs to a few of the AI scripting, a few of the animations of the characters in the backgrounds and stuff, I think that really keeps this game from competing for Game of the Year. I think this is an extremely high budget title. There's an amazing amount of content. The mission structure and the variety of the side quests is much better than it has been in previous years. I'm actually going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10. Moving on to another open world title in Middle-earth: Shadow of War, a game that is quite similar to Assassin's Creed Origins. It's actually a lot bigger than the original game, with at least 3 times as many orc captains to kill and a very greatly expanded nemesis system. Unfortunately, there are some lackluster art throughout the game, the characters, the environments, and it is an overly busy open world with so much to do all the time. You kind of feel a little bit overwhelmed, and it's hard to identify in the open world where you are sometimes based on eye, because there's a real lack of identifying landmarks. But the combat is still decent. The nemesis system and all the acting for all the different orcs is quite hilarious at times, and the game is still quite a bit of fun to play, so I'm actually going to give this game a 7.5 out of 10, though I would probably say with this game, maybe wait for it to drop down to about $40, about £30 in UK, and that would be a really good price for this game. So the fourth game I want to talk about today is Super Mario Odyssey. I really didn't think Nintendo could do it. I didn't think they could bring a game of the level of Super Mario Galaxy for this series again, a franchise that has brought so many great innovations and has really stretched this genre so far. And I certainly didn't think they could bring another game in 2017 of the high quality level of Breath of the Wild. But I'm glad to say Nintendo have done it again. It's amazing how creative all of these levels are and the puzzles found within them. And it's just so charming. The platforming is spot on as always. Mario as a character is getting more delightful year on year, and I'm really surprised that Nintendo have managed to bring something feeling so fresh from a franchise so old. And I absolutely love this game. I'm actually going to give it a 9 out of 10. In keeping with all the sequels we've been talking about, the next game I want to talk about is Wolfside 2, the new Colossus. So this game is very similar to New Order, but it's managed to become quite a bit tighter and more intense. But the real winner here is the story, and more importantly, the characters within the story. They're so crazy, the things they do are so mad, and you kind of fall in love with them all inadvertently as the story goes on, and they bring you these kind of great kind of sideways smile moments, and it makes the whole game feel like an eclectic fever dream at times. I actually really enjoy the shooting in this game as well. It looks a little bit sharper than it does before. I feel like they're really finding their feet with this engine. So well done to Machine Games. I'm actually going to give this game an 8 out of 10. The final game I want to talk to you about today, guys, is a Western RPG original title called Elixir. So this is from the team that brought you franchises such as Gothic and Risen, and they've clearly made huge improvements in the engine. The lighting is really impressive now, and there have been quite a few improvements to the character models in the game. Though performance isn't the best, I feel like the game is more steady and closer to 30 frames per second than any of the Risen games ever were. And it's a difficult game to really recommend because it does have some quite old RPG game design. It is quite difficult. Some of the missions can be quite varied, but it can be quite long. And the game is quite impenetrable to people that haven't played this kind of game before. Though it's really hard to really argue with the amount of depth and variety and the size of the world that the guys are bringing. So I'm actually going to give this game a 6.5 out of 10. And I think if you can find it for a good price, it's probably worth checking out if you're into Western RPGs. Well, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I hope that all of these reviews have helped you make an informed decision this holiday, and I hope to bring you more reviews in the coming weeks to help you find the best games for your money. If you found this video informative or helpful at all, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.